sometimes unity in the body of Christ in the Christian community between evangelicals, mainline Protestants, Roman Catholics, the Orthodox community, sometimes unity is simply not possible. But there are times when it is possible. We're going to talk about that today. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Hi, friend. Welcome to today's program. I recently had the privilege of having Joe Scheidler, the godfather of pro-life activism, here in our studio. I had multiple hours in front of the camera with him, bantering, talking, sharing experiences, remembering old times together. And in today's episode, we look at Protestants and Catholics working together. Over the years, I've heard many good people say, we're going to try and get theological unity. It's just not possible. It's not. But what is possible is unity of purpose in a given fight. Think of Corrie ten Boom, the author of The Hiding Place, the woman in Holland whose family ended up going to prison because they were hiding Jews. In prison, she was with Christians from all denominational backgrounds who were there for opposing the Nazis, helping the Jews, whatever. They had a unity of purpose, standing for justice, standing for truth, standing for innocent life, even though they didn't have total unity on all theological issues regarding Christianity. That's what we need today if we're going to rescue this republic from darkness. Enjoy the interview. What was it like for you to all of a sudden to come from what was predominantly a Roman Catholic movement to suddenly, this influx of wild-eyed
Well, I found it to be just life-enhancing to me. I had never known. So, I'd grown up in northern Indiana, which was not predominantly Catholic, but we hadn't had a whole lot to do with our buddies of the other faiths in the religious area. We went to school together, had the proms together and all that, but we didn't talk religion much. But when we got into the pro-life movement, and we were all doing the same thing and had the same motivation and the respect for life, and we started singing each other's songs, which mostly the Protestant songs and non-Catholic songs. It was a great joy for me. I loved it, and I could see how much we had in common, and how great you guys were. It was very, but still, we Catholics hung together pretty much, and knew we were right, and thought we will convert these people eventually. And
did.
That was always in our mind, and many came over. It's amazing how many.
Paul Schenck left being an Episcopal priest and became a Roman Catholic, converted to Catholicism, became a Roman Catholic priest.
Right.
There's a fellow who I won't name out in the Northwest Oregon, or you know who it is, but he actually wrote an article about 3 years ago, because I became Catholic, and
yes.
You had a profound impact on me. And he wrote an article saying, to Protestants, saying we must no longer work in the pro-life arena with any Catholics. Because if Protestants hang out with Catholics too much, we've seen too many of them convert to Catholicism. And then he listed Paul Schenck and me and a couple others and said, see, look at these. These were great Protestant leaders, and now look at them.
That's true. It's true. It would be interesting just to make a list of the Protestant and many of the ministers.
Mind-boggling. Jerry
Horn, Andy Schulberg, going down the line, that are now practicing Catholics. And
a lot. It really was a lot. And we look back and laugh now. And it was hard for me. It was so much stress for me. You and I had an experience with the Pope Why don't you tell it from your perspective?
Well, from my perspective, we were having a meeting with the Pope, and everybody at the meeting was Catholic except Randy Terry, and had been invited.
And they let me speak at the Vatican.
He spoke at the Vatican, got in line to go give the Pope a gift or something. I forget what you. But you went ahead of me. You were right ahead of me.
We were standing in line together
to meet Pope John Paul, and lo and behold, you give him something, and he starts laughing, and then it's my turn because they kept us going. So there's a picture taken of me handing the Pope a book, and the Pope laughing, and you going away laughing. And you don't have that picture. You have
no,
I want. So I'll send it to you.
All right. You want to know what I said?
I want to know. I've often wondered what went on right before I met the Pope.
I said to him, "Would you please come to New York and get arrested with us?"
You did?
Yes.
That was it.
And he chuckled, and then I made a further joke about it.
Yeah.
And I said, no, think of how powerful it would be if the Pope was in jail with us. And he laughed and threw his head back, and the cardinal that was standing with him laughed.
Well, now the mystery is solved, because that picture hangs right next to my phone, and every time I look at it, I think, what did Randy say to get the Pope to laugh? Because he was a great man.
He was later on in that meeting. He laid his hands on me. Yes, it was such a privilege to meet him. So we were at me, you, and Steve Wood. There's another one, a Presbyterian minister who converts to Catholicism. I'm staying with Steve, and totally confused because he was such a great preacher, very Orthodox Presbyterian. Becomes Catholic. I'm like, what is going on here? And we then go to dinner, and it's me and you, Steve, and a bunch of others. And there you were on me about the sacrament of confession. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
I
remember the meeting together then.
Yeah, and you were saying, you guys were trying to convince me what a great blessing it was. The sacrament of confession was just such a wonderful blessing. And you said, Randall, you were getting more and more uncomfortable, and you finally got up and left. And so, the funny thing is, I actually went to St. Peter's in the next day or two while we were all there, and went to a priest, one of those priests in the Vatican, and he wouldn't hear my confession. I was like, what?
Everybody's telling me to go to confession. One step first. Come into the church.
If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. So it was later on the priest who brought me into the church, Father John Michael-Eunice, God bless him. What a patient man he was with me. Just such a prince of a man. He said, well, he could have heard your confession.
Yeah.
Because Father John would hear my confession when I was Protestant. So anyway, there's been a lot of good people. The pro-life movement. One of the reasons that I converted was the unwavering position of the church on child killing, sacrament of marriage, birth control. That was like, I would find myself as a Protestant defending the church, because I'm saying, look, you got your Presbyterians over here. They don't see children as a blessing. You know, have your 1.7 kids and then be done with it.
The birth control is a big issue too. That was a stumbling block for many Protestants.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, for some Catholics, it's been a stumbling block. But it's of the essence of what we're talking about. You know, being open to life.
And viewing children as the blessing of God.
Right.
I wrote, this will get me in trouble, I'll say it anyway, it's a field, but I wrote a piece and said why Christians are sympathetic with abortion. And the reason, and I said, if you listen to the girls who are going into the abortion mill, because I spent much time, not as much as you, but much time in front of abortion mills, just begging for lives, literally. And I probably saved 50, a little over 50 babies, just by pleading for their lives, right on the doorstep of the abortion mill. And in the piece, I said, look, what are the reasons we hear, when we're standing there, what are they telling us? I'm in school, I don't have the money, I'm not ready for a baby, I already have too many children. You know, they make this list, and I say, and then tell me the reasons the Christians will give you that they use birth control. I'm in school, I already have too many children, I'm not ready. They give you the same excuses to use birth control as the woman is using to kill her baby. So there's this secret sympathy going on.
Right.
And that earned me persona non grata to a lot of places. After that, as a Protestant preacher, I was never invited back to speak. Yeah. That was it, man. People.
Yeah, but it's a disposition, the same disposition, the same arguments for birth control and abortion.
Right, but children are the blessing of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is His reward. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. And who would say, no, Lord, I have too much money, I don't want any more money? Mm-hmm. But no one. But people say, no, Lord, I don't want any more children. And I recognize that there are people who can't have children, or, you know, that there are massive, true medical issues. I get that. But the spirit of, I want children are a blessing, is what we should have. And it's not present in much of the Protestant world and much of the Catholic world. I mean, that was one of the big heartaches for me when I came into the church.
When you became a Catholic.
Was to find out how many Catholics didn't even believe what the church taught.
And still don't.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
But at least the principle is there, and it's still held very firmly by the church. The church will not budge on the birth control thing, and that is a drawing card to somebody like you that wants an absolute answer. Mm-hmm. And you got it.
Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. If you enjoy gospel music, Christian music, music that has prayers that you can sing along with, pray along with, I want to encourage you to go ahead and get a copy of my music CD, I Believe in You. I wrote all the songs, I sing the songs, and had the joy of putting the album together with some of the best musicians in the world. And I've had a good number of people over the years tell me that it's their favorite Christian album. I encourage you, get a copy, sing along. You'll be blessed. Do you remember what happened with me and you and Steve Wood that night outside of the Coliseum?
Yes.
Tell the story.
You tell it.
We're here. We're there. Me and Steve and Joe are there. Now, did I climb all the way over the gate?
You must have, because we all got in.
Yeah. So somehow or another, we climbed over the gate. We're inside of the Coliseum on an unguided tour.
Yeah, it's closed. It's night.
Right.
It's dark.
So then we come out, and these three little Italian urchins come up to us. They're talking really fast in Italian, and they start going like this to Joe. And Joe's going, "Get away from me, stop it, stop it." So they walk off, and me and Steve and I are standing there visiting, talking, and then all of a sudden they come back and say, "Here, sir."
Yeah.
They had stolen his wallet. Yeah. They were so good. They were pros. And there was no cash in your wallet.
No.
And these young kids figured, they must have been taught, look, if there's no cash, just give it back, because this guy is going to have real trouble without his ID, if there was a passport issue, credit card issue. So they came back and fessed up that they had stolen the wallet, gave it to him. And
I thought they got Steve's wallet, too. Did they just get one?
I thought that they just got yours, because you were the one that they were doing.
They were very good. You had no idea you were being... I've had that happen several times.
Well, they acted like they were just playing.
Yeah.
Like they were tickling you.
Well, they had some papers or something, or a box.
Newspapers. I mean, they were pros, boy.
Little kids.
Yeah. They were literally 10, 8, 12 years old.
Well, I've been back to Rome since then, and I have lost 2 more wallets.
Are you serious?
Which were not returned, yeah. Yeah. One on a bus, and I saw it coming, because when I got off the bus, these guys jammed me and wouldn't let me off. And when I got off, I reached and my wallet was gone, with everything in it, and they didn't bring it back. So I roamed around looking through the trash cans and everything, hoping that after they'd taken the cash out, they'd left the cards, but I'd lost all my cards. In fact, I had to very quickly sign the hotel bill.
While the card was still functional.
While it was still functional. And that was a headache.
I always carry, when I'm overseas, I always carry it in my front right pocket, because it's too easy to take it from the back or from the coat.
The only way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't do it that day. I had come from a long trip. We had driven across Italy, and I'd gotten in, and I'd just not been thinking. And I got on this crowded bus to go back to our hotel, and it was gone. And then I lost another one on another trip to Rome. And so I'm very careful now.
Oh, goodness.
Or either that, or I won't go back to Rome.
I'm hoping to take my family. I want to take our boys. It's such an incredible place.
Yeah, it is.
My wife and I went there on a honeymoon.
You did? That's
yes,
where your honeymoon.
Yeah, and we went there for a month when our firstborn was a baby.
Oh, neat.
Spent a month there working on a book.
Well, we go back now. We stay in Trastevere.
At Father Pavone's place. I've been there.
We love it. Isn't that great?
It's wonderful.
And it's all stocked and everything, and it's interesting. It's funny, last time we were there, my wife and son and daughter went up the inside the dome of St. Peter's to the very peak.
They took the walk? That's a long walk. They took the walk.
And I was going to wait for them down at the Pietà. Well, I went up to see them off on the walk, and they took off. And I thought, I ought to try this. So I did the walk.
Wow.
Which is 300, I forget how many, it's deep steps. And it is hard to get up there, and it curves in. So when I got up there, I was practically,
Now how are you going to get down?
I just about had it. How am I going to get down? So anyway, actually, people were giving me drinks for sugar and so on. But then when I got back to the Father Pavone's, they had moved the apartment from the ground floor 1 floor up, so I had to walk
that twirling staircase.
And that evening we had dinner with Jerry Horn and the people that work with Father Pavone, and they said, "How did you manage the stairs up to Father Pavone's?" And I said, "Well, after climbing up to the tower, the very top of the dome of St. Peter's, it wasn't much." And they got a kick out of that I had gone those 300 and some steps, deep steps up. But I'll not do that again.
Oh, I've never done it.
I was seeing white for a while. There's no place to stop. You can't stop and rest. You just keep going.
I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it, so that we can stay in touch with you, and yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. As you look over America, the pro-life movement, the murder of babies, and you see the lack of response from so many Christians, how do you feel? You know, what makes you hopeful? What makes you angry? Sad?
Well, Randy, I think the thing is, I see so much good. I see so much action, so much concern, so much gain, that I kind of can bypass the bad. I mean, I'm very optimistic about the movement. I see the country turning toward it. The church has been much better. Abortion is becoming a very negative concept. People don't like to be known as abortionists. They don't.
That's true.
They'll use anything, Joyce, to get away from that word. I think the more we've seen of the body parts and the work that David DeLayden has done, and I think abortion is becoming more and more and more negative. So the lack of response doesn't bother me as much as it used to, because I think it eventually comes.
Interesting.
I've seen so many people come into the movement very slowly, but firmly. And I'm optimistic about the movement. I think that things are changing.
There's a lot of people who have criticized you and me for showing the aborted babies.
Yeah.
And I believe that it's our duty to do so.
Absolutely.
Explain to people why we do it and why it's so critical.
Well, seeing is believing. I mean, 98% of what we know we get through sight. Or some kind of a visual description. But a seeing is believing. There's no question about that. And we immediately, I came into the movement by a picture.
Wow, I did not know that.
I saw a picture of an aborted baby, and I was hooked for life.
What year was that?
1972.
Before Roe.
Before Roe. I saw an aborted baby, and I thought we could never do this. It was legal in Canada. Remember, they had the babies, the little babies in Canada, in the black plastic bag. And I saw that, and I was death on abortion. And so when Roe v. Wade was handed down, the first thing I did was go get pictures, all the pictures I could find, and went right out with the pictures and made people look at them. And people said, that's too much, that's too hard, it's not charitable, and so on. I said, we're killing people. Let's look at the people that are being killed.
Friend, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Joe. Remember, we might not have unity on all theological issues, but we can have unity of purpose in saving babies from death.